Well, hello again, my friends, and welcome back to another edition of Sea Devil Sessions University Transfer. I'm your host, Lucinda McNamara, Dean of University Transfer and Partnerships, and here with me, the Velvet Voice herself.
I'm Kathie Lee.
That's right, Kathie Lee. Not to be like, was it Kathie Lee and Regis?
Yes.
That's dating us a little bit.
Yeah.
So this week, when the podcast drops, or towards the end of November, we will be heading towards Thanksgiving. This is the month of gratitude.
Yes.
So I guess we should all be thinking about the things that we are thankful for.
Yes.
I know sometimes we don't have an easy time coming up with what that could be.
Sometimes.
But definitely be thinking about what you're thankful for and grateful for. And if it is actually people, let them know that, because we don't sometimes have the opportunity to tell them how grateful and thankful we are to have them in our lives. So have those discussions soon.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell us about today's Faculty Spotlight.
Today's Faculty Spotlight is Blythe Bennett. Blythe teaches in the English department here at CFCC. She has worked for the college as a full-time faculty for 20 years.
20 years. That's 2 decades, folks.
Yes.
There's a lot of knowledge in that 2 decades.
Yes.
So we're going to go into the studio with Blythe. Come join us. Blythe Bennett is here in the studio.
Yay! Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, now that you've come through the doors to the inner sanctum, what do you think? It's pretty posh back here, huh?
It is. It really is.
She's like,
I don't
going to
think
be
I
killed?
can capture the lights, the mesmerizing lights. I mean, it's something to see.
It is really lovely. And it's, it's a deep freeze, but not as bad as last time.
No, nowhere near as bad.
Yeah, it was like walking into an icebox.
Yes.
But thank you for joining us. We are having you as our faculty spotlight, and so we're going to jump right in and ask you, what brought you to the Wilmington area?
Well, I came for grad school. I'm from Atlanta originally, and I decided that when I was young, I wanted to be a political reporter. And so I went to college in Washington, D.C., and then promptly realized after a few semesters that political reporting was not for me. Once you kind of see the underbelly of stuff, it's not as exciting.
Right.
I changed my major quite a few times.
Which is fine, kids.
Absolutely, yes. And I graduated, traveled, worked abroad, and then decided I wanted to settle down. I'd never been to Wilmington. I only knew that the grad school program I was interested in had a later date of application that other places did. So they took me, and I came, and I never left.
So would it be safe to say that you like Wilmington?
I do. Okay. I love Wilmington.
And no plans to go back to Atlanta?
No. I think I'll...
Or live in D.C.?
I do love D.C., though.
I
could see myself at some point living in a city. I really do enjoy living in a walkable city, and just, I think that could be in my future way down the road.
Right.
So what drew you to major in and teach English?
Well, my undergraduate degree wasn't in English. So like I said, I changed my major a few times. I went from political science to sociology to education to anthropology. And then I realized about senior year that I wanted to graduate. So I went and saw an advisor, and they said, what you have created is an interdisciplinary degree, which is American Studies. And so I graduated undergraduate with an American Studies degree from American University, so go America.
Yes.
And then promptly decided I wanted to leave America and travel. And so I taught English in Japan for a year and in Korea for a year, Peru, and I moved to New York and taught English, so teaching English as a second language. So I knew I wanted to teach. I really wasn't sure what I wanted to teach, but I did know that I love the classroom and I love working with students. And when I finally decided that I wanted to kind of settle down and get my master's, I thought about the classes that I enjoyed the most, and those were English. And I enjoy it for many reasons. I think a lot of English teachers like creative writing, and I do as well, but that's not my main draw. I really enjoy the research, and I really enjoy being able to sit down, or as a student, I really enjoyed being able to sit down and to make my point and to prove a claim through writing. So that's always been a draw for me.
Cool. The students in overseas, were you teaching them English as a foreign language, or were they English-speaking students?
No, I was teaching them English as a foreign language. So I taught in all levels. In Japan, I taught kindergarten students and junior high students. And in Korea, I taught some preschool students and some businessmen. They call them businessmen. I mean, business people now. But there were almost all men in those classes, as well as some high school students. And then when I was in Peru, I taught a lot of students who wanted to be tour guides on the Amazon. I lived on the Amazon, and so that was very different. Very different. So
I never knew these things about you.
Yeah, this is
it's like meeting you all over again.
Yeah, I love travel, so that was kind of a lovely way to be introduced into teaching, and then I just had a knack for it. I never wanted to not do that. So,
Wow.
That's really awesome. So what have you noticed about the differences in the students since you began teaching?
well, at the risk of sounding like a dinosaur and 1,000 years old, I guess dinosaurs are older than that, but I started teaching here at Cape Fear when we had chalkboards and we had TVs mounted on the walls. And I guess the one thing that I've noticed that's the difference, and it's not just the students, it's just in general, is it used to be in the classroom, it was just me and the students, right? It was just us. And we would, and what I mean by that is we didn't have immediate access to information.
Like technological
research.
Yeah.
And so there's good and the bad with that, right? So if I'm talking in class and we're looking at a Shirley Jackson short story and we want to know what her marriage was like, in 2 seconds I can have a student go look that up, right?
Right.
Which is cool and exciting and great, and the information is all there. However, sometimes it can be a wonder killer, right? My friend used to call the internet the wonder killer because it used to be, I wonder if she had a good marriage. I wonder what the solution is. I wonder what what she meant by that. And so that's gone a little bit. And that's not just from our students, that's just in general. We have so much information so quickly.
That's the magic, though, of the classroom back then, right?
Right,
Like,
absolutely.
and you felt like you all got to know each other so much better,
Right?
Because you were all kind of in a forced situation in a room having a conversation, and it just could go anywhere.
Right, and we're grappling, and it's messy, and we're figuring things out, and we didn't have that expectation that we should know more than we did. Yeah. And now, anytime if we're talking about a story, students can look online and see there's already been critical reviews and someone has taken they've analyzed everything that can be analyzed. So sometimes students feel like their work isn't good enough because they're judging it based on everything that's available online. And so getting them to know that this is the process. The process is sitting down and figuring things out and making, making suppositions and trying to grapple with those questions. There's a beauty in that. So for me, I'm always trying to edge us back there. But on the other hand, for research and for things, it's fantastic to be able to get facts so quickly if we're talking about something in class. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword, I guess.
Balance of the wins and the losses.
Yes.
With technology. Well, I feel really melancholy now as we go into our rapid fire. Are you ready for rapid fire?
Only positive stuff. Okay,
All right, now, are you ready for this rapid fire?
I'm ready. I'm ready. Bring it on.
All right, let's do it.
So, what is your most favorite thing about your job?
Ooh, positive, right? I really love when students are surprised by their own success. And I think I'm not surprised. I always know that they have it in them and they are able to be successful. But you do find sometimes when students come in thinking, I'm not a good writer, I'm not a good reader, or XYZ, and then they can be successful. And it's that surprise and this kind of a new identity of things that they can accomplish. So that's really, really cool to see.
That is cool. What is your least favorite thing about your
I thought
job?
we weren't going negative.
Yeah.
But okay.
Well, it's checks and balances here.
Okay. The opposite of that, I guess, is when students, perhaps for many reasons, but give up on themselves. Maybe they just that inner monologue is telling them that they can't be successful, or it's not worth it, or this is not something that hard work can overcome. So that's tough. I want them. I tell my students, hopefully we have the same goal. I want you to succeed. You want to succeed. let's figure out how to make that happen. But I can't be the only one that wants that, and
Right.
or there won't be success.
But I mean, that's part of our coaching parts as teachers
Absolutely.
too, right? To just, when we see that happen on their faces, come in and be like, you know what, you got this.
You got it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What sound or noise do you love?
It's probably cliche, but big nature noises. So,
Lions roaring?
I would love that. Thunder rolling,
Right.
waves crashing, wind in trees, fire crackling, those big natural sounds. Yeah,
I like it. So what sound or noise do you hate?
probably the opposite of that, which would be I am not an ASMR girl. That is not for me.
right.
The whisper.
Yeah, can we talk about
I
this
don't
for just
like
a
it.
quick minute? When did
Oh
this
my-
become a thing?
I don't know. And
When
like
did this
putting your
become a thing, you
fingernails
people?
on a microphone and like
People eating
whispering
honeycombs?
or crunching things. It's not for me. It's the opposite of big natural sounds. Is that
Right.
just that whispery like fingernails
do-
on stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I do find a lot of satisfaction in the popping the bubbles in the plastic wrap.
Okay.
That's old school.
I know, that
don't
is,
know if
right?
That counts.
So that's like almost kinesthetic. You're like feeling that,
Yes,
I
yes.
get that. I get that.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's a good answer, Blythe. Thank you. We haven't gone into that realm before. This is exciting.
I mean, you're set up for it.
know.
You have a microphone right here that you could tap on if you wanted to do that.
We'll have to have an episode dedicated to that. So what one piece of advice do you have for college students?
I think I wouldn't just say for college, I'd say for all young people or maybe all people in general, and that would be to be brave, to trust yourself. One of my favorite quotes is, fear is the mind killer, fear is the little death. And I think for all of us, we have to remember that we know inside what we want, and if we're not afraid to go for that and to follow that voice and to take the big swings and to try those things and not be afraid, that's where life is. Life is long, and if it's not long, you still don't want to live making your choices based on fear. So just go for it. Yeah.
I'm learning so much. This is so insightful for me today. I was in a bad place. This is good.
Okay, we're getting positive
Right.
there. Okay,
I need
good.
to get
good,
out.
good.
I need to
So
get
the
out
wonder
of the
killer's
fear
gone, and now we're
state. Okay,
yeah.
I'm in it. What are 2 college transfer major options for someone who's interested in English or literature?
Okay. Well, I think most people would probably think of creative writing and teaching, and of course, those are great. However, there are lots of different pathways. I think one thing that I've seen a lot more is people that do content creation are getting English majors. It's
Right.
great to understand purpose, tone, audience, all those things we talk about
Right.
in a rhetoric class. And also, interestingly, I'm finding that a lot of students that want to go and get a law degree are doing an undergraduate degree in English. Because
Shout
they get
out to Sienna McNamara.
there you go. So because then you get to practice all your analytical writing skills
Right.
and reading skills, which you're going to do, and research, which you're going to do a lot of in law school, obviously. So
Yeah.
maybe some different things that people don't usually think about with English.
Yeah.
Good one.
So what profession, other than your own, would you like to attempt?
If I could get paid to travel, sign me up. And I don't know what that job would be, but maybe a tour guide. I don't know that we have, travel. It's kind of a dying
Like travel
profession, the
agents,
travel
yeah.
agent. But
Flight
I love,
attendance isn't
yeah.
really traveling. That's just being stuck in an airplane.
Yeah, but I do love, thinking of planning a trip, researching a trip, figuring out,
You could, oh my gosh, you could be the female Rick Steves. You know how he writes all
would
those
love
amazing
that.
travel books?
Yeah.
You got the writing ability?
Yeah.
And you could go to, yes. This
I
is
would
you.
love it. I mean, honestly, that would be, my favorite thing to do.
So, what profession would you not want to attempt?
I don't think I would like any job where I couldn't be creative and use initiative. So anything where I'd have to kind of do the same thing over and over. My mother's an accountant, and bless all the accountants, because of course we need them, but that would be my personal hell. I would not like that. There's just right and wrong answers, and if you do it wrong, a lot of problems can happen.
Does she still have a desk calculator with like the
Oh,
ribbon
absolutely,
of paper?
absolutely.
I have one on
Yeah.
my desk.
Do you really?
I
have
do.
it?
I do.
They still make those?
Yes.
Oh, that's the sound of my childhood. The little
yeah.
thing
I
going.
love that.
Yeah.
That Yeah.
I'm with you, Blythe.
My mom was pregnant while she was in.
These are the memories from your fetus?
That's why I think I don't like it. It was
Okay.
I had to attend these accounting classes in utero, and so not a fan. Not a
Okay.
fan. Yeah.
What is your favorite film?
Ooh, I really love the Christopher Guest movies. I love Waiting for Guffman.
Yes.
I love Best in Show.
Oh, I love that movie.
Those are probably the most, the things I quote the most. And
A Mighty Wind.
A Mighty Wind is great.
Yeah.
It's just my kind of humor. It's just, I like those a lot.
I know. I'm wondering how many people aren't familiar with that. I don't know how to describe the humor.
Yeah.
It's sophisticated.
Is it?
It's the opposite.
It's so silly and
Yes.
But
and
so fun.
We have so much in common. We both like soup.
Right.
Sorry.
I
Best in
know,
Show is
and
one
you
of my
try
favorites.
to say them, and no one else knows. Like, anytime anyone's leaving, I'll say, "If you get tired, pull over. If you get hungry, eat something." And that's like it's from Best in Show, and
Yeah,
just
it's
sounds
right over
like
their
an
heads.
idiot. So yeah.
Okay, last question.
Okay.
And you have made it. Finally, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self about your future?
Well, first of all, I know 18-year-old.
Remember 18-year-old Blythe?
I don't think I would listen because
I would have to smack
18.
myself.
Right. I
and be
mean,
like,
would
listen
I
up.
listen? No. But what I would try to tell myself is to embrace change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Change is the only constant. Change, if we can get comfortable with the fact that everything happens, good and bad, then you're set up for life. I think a lot of times, so many of our problems come when we just can't lean into those transitions. And so learning to be okay with change and be all right with the fact that nothing's constant and everything's changing for good or for bad, then I think you can kind of find contentment. So.
That is excellent advice. I mean, because I still have problems with change.
I think it gets more difficult the older you get.
Yeah,
I think
so
that
too.
that saying "old and set in your ways"
Yeah.
is real.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Blythe. Thank you so much.
That
Yes,
was
thank
relatively
you.
painless. So
Yeah,
I appreciate
relatively.
That. Relatively.
Yes,
Relatively.
yes.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I know there are some dates and deadlines always lingering out there for university transfer, and we have resident drama instructor Jack Landry on board to fill you in.
Here are the events from November 16th through November 30th. Sunday, November 17th is the last day for schedule adjustment prior to the term start. It's also the deadline for dropping a class for 100% refund or removal of debt for the winter session. Monday, November 18th, classes begin for winter session. It's also the last day to add classes or drop for the winter session, and it's the last day to withdraw from classes for your 12-week classes. Tuesday, November 19th, last day to drop classes for a 75% refund for the winter session. Wednesday, November 20th, the withdrawal period begins. That's when grades of W are issued for the winter session. Monday, November 25th is the last day to withdraw from classes for your second many classes. And Tuesday, November 26th, we're calling it fall break. There's no classes, but the college is open. Wednesday, November 27th, even though it's almost the end of November, we're also calling this fall break. No classes, college is open. Thursday, November 28th, you guessed it, Thanksgiving Day. It's a holiday. The college is closed. And Friday, November 29th is also Thanksgiving break. The college is closed. These are the events from November 16th through November 30th.
So today we have a special guest in the studio to fill us in on our upcoming academic and cultural events. We have the Velvet Voice, Kathie Lee. Kathie!
Yes.
You're going to tell us of all the goings on here at Cape Fear Community College.
I am. And it's amazing how many events we do have coming up, considering that we have the holidays right in the middle of it.
So true.
Yes. So starting on Saturday, November 16th, roadside Adopt a Highway from 8 to 10 a.m. Meet in the A and B parking lot behind the A building, Water Street. Monday, November 18th, Kaya, Come As You Are, with counseling, 1 p.m. in L201. Rugby Club meeting, noon in S501. And Creative Arts Club meeting, 1 p.m. in the WA 2010 room. On Tuesday, November 19th, the Feminist Alliance Club meeting, 3 p.m. in the L Building cafeteria. Wednesday, November 20th, STEM film series Supersize Me shows at 2 p.m. in N202. Student club meetings. Math Club, 11 a.m., S603 and NB 233. Anthropology Club, 1 p.m., A316. NAMI Club, 1 p.m. in A317. Political Science Club, 2 p.m., S317. Spanish Club, 3 p.m. in S202. Beats Lab Club, 3:30 to 5 p.m. in WA 2010. And the Pride Club meets at 4 p.m. On Thursday, November 21st, So Crafty Club meeting at 10 a.m. in WA 3018. Esports Club meeting at 5 p.m. in U252. Friday, November 22nd, the Philosophy Club meeting is at 2 p.m. in U296. Monday, November 25th, Rugby Club meeting, 12 p.m. S501.
I just realized we don't have any more clubs the remainder of the week because no students will be here the 26th, 27th,
That's right.
28th, and 29th. And if I may go back to mention STEM Club, the STEM film series Supersize Me, Morgan Spurlock is dead. Let that be a lesson to you to not eat fast food.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
How recently?
Last year or the year before? I don't think it was fast food related, but I like to think it was. Kathie, that's a lot of stuff.
That is a lot of stuff. It's a busy month considering.
We will be eating tofurkey.
Yes. Yeah, so lots of things to do.
Kathie, we did it.
Yes.
Blythe was in the studio.
Yes, that was fun.
It was fun.
She was.
And I know Blythe, so there's a lot of things that surprised me there. I didn't know about all of her teaching of English in all these incredible countries.
Yes.
I loved hearing her idea about the Wonder Killer. That sounds like a serial killer series.
Yeah. That's got to be the next, in franchise of some sort of mega
gosh.
tech person's life story.
Right. Don't get me started. We didn't talk about monsters on Netflix here. Did you watch it?
No, I have not.
The Menendez brothers?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Does it exonerate them or does it cement their guilt?
You are going to have to make your own decision when you watch it, Kathie. I can't tell you. But it definitely puts some question marks there. So I did want to bring up that we are heading towards the end of November, which is a little freaky. As we get towards the end, faculty like to call this the running the gauntlet because we're going to come back from Thanksgiving and then immediately there's essentially like 10 days left and it's over.
Yes.
And since Thanksgiving is so late this year, it's the last week in November, the college will be open and school will be in session on that Monday, which is November 25th.
Yes.
But the rest of the college will remain open with no classes the 26th and 27th.
Yes. Tuesday and Wednesday.
Right? And then the 28th and 29th, we will be closed for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And remember, your assignment, everyone, is to think about what you're thankful for.
Yes, that's right.
The other thing I want to mention, Kathie, was what you call it, Black Friday?
Yes.
Start planning for your holidays and your mindless spending of giving presents to people who don't need anything.
That's right. And you don't even have to wait until the day after Thanksgiving.
Look at all the positivity that's exuding from
Yeah.
us here. Wait, sorry.
Well, I know one major retail vendor is already having Black Friday week.
Who?
I believe it's Walmart.
Oh.
11th through the 17th.
We're not going to plug that.
We're already there.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe they were going to do that in an attempt to allow their employees to have the day off after Thanksgiving or the day of Thanksgiving.
The other thing to think about is perhaps some turkey alternatives. Maybe you want to have your tofurkey. Have some of your plant-based meats. I mean,
Yes.
consider it, people. Sorry, this is crickets. Thank you, Mitchell. Mitchell's with me on the tofurkey. Everyone else is like cardboard, and sawdust. But anyway, so definitely be thinking about those things. And when we come back with our next episode, we will probably be heading into December, and the fall semester of 2024 will be ending.
Wow.
Crazy.
Crazy's flying by.
So what advice do we have for them, Kathie?
Go to class.
Sea Devil Sessions University Transfer Edition is brought to you by CFCC's Community Relations Department. Original theme music by Nicholas Montalbano and Fermin Chavez Ramos. Audio engineering and editing by Mitchell White and Adam Unterreiner. For questions or comments, please contact us at seadevilsessions@cfcc.edu.